What's going on, family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. Man, I've been looking forward to doing this review for a while. Just got caught up with a lot of things this month, but we're going to get straight into it, right? We're going to be talking about Halloween Ends. And, man, there's not honestly much to say about this movie, even though I'm going to go in detail. This movie, I've been looking forward to it ever since the trilogy was announced, right? Back in 2018, Halloween. I thought that movie was really, really good, especially if you're recounting a franchise, right? You're going to recount it the way they did. I think they took different liberties with it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Then, fast forward, you get Halloween Kills, which I thought was okay, just to sum it up. I wasn't too impressed with that film. You know, although it was gory, you kind of knew what was going to happen because of everything leading up to that film. But I left there wanting more, right? And then comes this movie, which I was looking forward to. I thought they were really going to put a stamp on this franchise, and boy, was I disappointed. This movie was it was completely something that I just wasn't looking forward to. You know, this movie basically focuses on a new character, and I for a trilogy, it's just something you don't do. The new character Corey could have been introduced in the first 2018 Halloween movie, and eventually kind of led him into this stage that he eventually gets into when it comes to meeting Michael and doing whatever he thought basically Michael would want to do or whatever it is, but I'll get into that. I guess the filmmakers chose to go this direction. For what reason, I don't know. Obviously, I'm one of many who were disappointed with this film. I can't recall any horror movie really, or recently, that really disappointed me as much as this one did this year. The horror movies this year have been up to par, believe it or not, and I was just shocked. You know, this movie has a lot of weird things that go on with it. You know, this movie is set in 2022, which is 4 years after the first film, post-COVID. This movie, I heard a lot of ramblings that they used COVID in this film. They actually don't. There was a lot of things that I heard that were just wrong. I'm happy I saw this for myself. In reality, I saw this on Peacock the opening night it came out on streaming services. I'm happy I didn't spend my money to see this movie. Honestly, I probably would have threw popcorn at the screen. With that being said, it's interesting. You get introduced to Corey in the beginning of the film, and he's a good kid. He's babysitting for this, upscale couple because they're going to a Halloween party or whatsoever, and he's babysitting this annoying ass kid, and the kid plays the prank on him, eventually locking him upstairs in like an attic or a closet, right? And Corey, tries to kick the door open. This little dick is in back of the door. And when Corey actually kicks it open, the door hits him. And as the mother and father are walking back from this party into the home, as soon as they open the door, put their things down, their son right on the floor, lands right on the floor, I guess breaks his neck, dies ASAP. They look up, you see Corey there, and then you see the title card, which was interesting. And then from there, you get to see that he did a few years in jail, I guess, because, he came out that he wasn't fully responsible, but he did do some time. And now, the town resents him. The town, every time they see him, it's as if he was invisible. And, you can tell that the kid, he's trying, ends up working with his dad in kind of like a junkyard setting. And this is when things start to get interesting, you know. You can tell that he's working, he's getting into the hang of things, right? Back to civilian life, especially from being locked up. You can tell his mother she's a nut job. And the father is more even keel, feels for his son, ends up gifting him a motorcycle. And he continues to see these kind of bullies, which I thought were funny. Is these kids in a marching band, and they're bullying him in the grocery store. And this is when we get introduced for the first time in the film to Laurie. You know, she basically fucks them off. They end up talking to her crazy. They end up going to a store trying to get beer. And before this kicks off, they try to get Corey to buy them beer. And Corey obviously trying to tell him, he can't. Obviously, he's on parole. He can't do any of those things. They end up, trying to beat him up. And we get introduced to Laurie, who defends him. And she sees something in him. And this was a badass moment where she basically goes up to Corey, introduces herself, takes out a knife, and basically, you'll see what she does after that. Basically puts these holes in a tire. And, that's their introduction, which I thought was unique. And what's crazy is she brings him around Allyson, her granddaughter. And it's crazy how they get introduced, and eventually Allyson, for some reason, is hypnotized with Corey, right? The way her character was in this whole trilogy was, to me, annoying. Andy Matichak, to me, is a great actress, upcoming. But for some reason, the way they used her character in this recon trilogy, I think, was awful. I couldn't stand Allyson in the first or the second movie. And it just confirmed my belief that there was nothing more. She was nothing more than just this terrible plot device, right, going on through this trilogy, because in 2018, she doesn't get much to do. She gets caught up in this action with her grandmother. She gets caught up with the boyfriend, right, getting played at a Halloween party. And then in part two, while her mother's there getting killed off, what happens to her? She doesn't do anything special. She doesn't do anything to excite the plot. She actually doesn't do anything. So, and then this movie comes around and she continues to hang around and be useless. It's crazy how as soon as she sees Corey in this film, it's like she gets hypnotized. She's like, oh, I want this guy. Fine, you could be attracted to somebody at the end of the day, but the way the writing, I guess, was done, is not her fault as an actress. It's just, this movie was bad in that sense. This movie wasn't a bad film overall. This film wasn't a Halloween movie. There were a lot of things that I disliked. Laurie gets sidelined in part two, right? As Karen gets killed off. Allyson does nothing. In this film, this time Corey gets to be pretty proactive, right? The bullying and everything after that fucks him up. So he ends up on a killing spree. When you look at the trailers, spoiler alert, majority of those kills are him. Michael Myers doesn't, that's what pissed me off too. Michael Myers doesn't, you don't see him for about an hour into the film. And then when you do see him, he's weak, hunched over. And it feels like he's nothing without his mask. There's a scene in the film where I thought no, Michael Myers would have tore this kid apart. Where Corey goes into the sewer just to get the mask and kind of whips Michael's ass while taking the mask. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It's one of those movies out the water. Like, That was the first offense for me. The first offense in this movie is the little Michael got to do in this film. For some reason, he's been hiding under a bridge for the past 4 years since the tragic events of Halloween Kills. No one knows where he's at. No one caught him. He just disappeared out of the thin air. Then he only resurfaces when Corey gets thrown over a bridge by the same four delinquents that tried to jump him in the deli or in the gas station. And when he gets thrown over this bridge, you see somebody dragging him into the store, which we all obviously assumed it's Michael. And it is. And for some reason, the way they did the film is Corey basically becomes Michael Myers' apprentice. You know, it's like the more kills Corey does, or the more kills that he introduces to Michael, it seems like Michael gets stronger with each kill, and they become kind of a dual tag team. I fucking hated it, bro. Like, you don't do that to Michael and the legacy of Michael Myers. Like, this was not the way to end the franchise, you know? And eventually, Corey decides he wants to be the alpha man, right? He wants to be the alpha killer. And he tries to incapacitate Michael by stealing his mask and taking over, trying to be the main killer. And to top off all this weirdness, Allyson basically stays with Corey, knowing how sick he is. Doesn't know exactly what he's doing. Doesn't know exactly the fact that he's going around killing. But she literally tells her grandma that she's going to go run away with him. And he literally tells her that he killed a person, and her first instinct is to comfort him and go on a date. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? What's going on with this? And the funny thing is all this is going on, I'm still in the movie. I'm like, okay, let's go. And she just wants to keep making out with him. Bitch, somebody just told you, yo, I just killed someone. And she has no regard. She doesn't report the crime to the police. It's just weird, man. These Michael Myers and Corey have these weird scenes where Allyson, she's just drawn to him as they were meant to be together. It's weird. I thought the whole movie, I swear to God, I thought they were gonna pull off like some Halloween 4 and 5 shit and make her eventually the villain. That's the kind of feeling I was getting. I was like, this girl can't be that stupid. The tone of this entire movie was strange. You know, the supporting cast to me was terrible. There's no likable characters here. It's a small town, right, where they live at, but you get these random events, random moments where Laurie keeps running in to these people in the town. It gets creepy. You know, they're at a grocery store parking lot scene where this lady gets scolded. This lady scolds Laurie, the lady from part 2 that Michael ends up killing her husband multiple times with the knives. And she's just there with the light, right, in her neck. She managed to survive that. How? I don't fucking know, but she survived it. You have the 4 teen bullies who eventually run into Corey, and they're bullying Corey, the creepy cop who looks twice her age, that keeps hitting on Allyson. Corey ends up killing those 4 random kids eventually. There's a weird, almost, it is a weird scene in a bar scene where he's having a really good time, and then the mother of the son that presumably he murdered is in the bar and looks at him and makes him feel bad. You could tell the father of the child kind of moved on, and tells a short, he has a little monologue saying that, Corey was a good kid, but now that he sees him in the street, he has that look in his eye that he's just off. And I don't know what that was about, On top of that, when Corey first meets Michael, there's a scene where he grabs him by the neck. He looks at him, looks into his eyes, then lets him go. The film does nothing to tell you exactly what happened in that moment. Not then, not later in the film. I don't understand. They amped this film up to the 5th degree and then gave us this. Like, and then, well, we get to the ending. The climax, to me, was too short. Made no sense. Laurie ends up shooting Corey a couple of times. When you see that trailer, how the hand goes through the door, what you don't see is Corey ends up calling 911. She ends up getting a gun. She ends up shooting a pumpkin. And throughout this whole scene, you thought she was going to commit suicide, right? It's leaning towards that. And then once you hear the poof, it's a pumpkin that falls over. You see the door open, and it's Corey in a Michael Myers mask. And she ends up shooting him a few times, right? Then she purposely shoots the wall up, right, to basically empty the bullets in the gun. She lets him grab a knife to supposedly kill her, but she literally said it a few months ago. Did you think I was gonna go in a few moments before, she was like, did you think I was gonna kill myself? And then he stabs himself, Corey. And then she's sad about it. It's just a fucking weird movie. He tried to kill her. And you're gonna go mourn this kid? Of course, the plot device that Allyson walks in and assumes Laurie killed him, then drives away, and then gets this call from Hawkins, played again by Will Patton. I love Will Patton, but he didn't do anything in this film. Not his fault. He didn't get a lot of screen time. He didn't have much to do. And then they ask about Laurie. She calls about her suicide, right? Prior to all this happening, because she planned all this. She knew Corey was going to come after her. But what she didn't know, that Michael was going to be writing back at him. So what's crazy is Allyson goes, I think she rethinks things. She comes back eventually. She saw her grandmother standing over Corey's body with a knife, and thinking that she's the one that killed him, but not even. The movie doesn't put you in a lot of good situations. Think about it. He's dressed up as Michael Myers. He's dead in your house. Like, it's, and then you can tell that she notices that a side door is open, weirdly, because she knows Corey didn't come through there. How? I do not fucking know. But she realizes, oh shit, Michael Myers is here. So she goes and hides in a closet, and Michael Myers pops up. Laurie battles him. She ends up getting the upper hand, then slows him down, and has that killer talk to him until he can grab her throat. Allyson shows up. She rents her mouth. We didn't need that during that time, but she does it anyways. They don't finish him, and instead they wait for the police and the entire town. They end up slicing his throat, slicing his wrists. Afterwards, the cops come with Will Patton's character. They put him on top of a car and parade his ass to a junkyard where they basically mutilate his body. That's the way this movie ends. There were many times where I kept looking at how much time was left to the film. I was so frustrated already at this time. The first 30 minutes, to me, felt like an hour. Although the first 30 minutes to an hour, I was actually entertained. But by an hour and 15, I was like, what's going on here? The movie could have definitely did better. And there was actually a good moment in this. you get to see how bad the film ends, because we didn't want to see that. We didn't want to see Michael Myers be mutilated. It gives it a final touch on this, on basically Michael Myers. You know, he's not coming back from that. You know, they put him in this kind of incinerator thing, and you see his brains burst, and it's just hard to believe that virtually every moment in this film make you cringe. It's hard to believe that this is how this franchise is actually going to end. You know, they'll probably reboot and remake it again for the 5th time. They may have to, because this film it wasn't the right note for Jamie Lee Curtis to go out on. It really wasn't. There's a lot of other stuff that I could talk about, like this doctor and nurse that have this thing going on. It was supposed to be kind of a comic relief, but it really wasn't. It's just, man, this movie really disappointed me. If I was to give this movie a rating, and I just don't want to keep babbling on, because, please, 20 minutes into this video, it's just a waste. I only seen it once, and I don't plan to see it again. Honestly, to me, it was just that bad as a Halloween fan. I give this movie 6 out of 10. Be nice. You know, if you go ahead and want to watch this movie, just keep an open mind. This is not a Halloween film. It's introducing a new character to the franchise that I don't understand why they introduced, because they ended up killing him off really quickly. He ended up killing himself off, which was weird. So yeah, get at me on the Discord. Let me know what you thought about the film. If you want more content from me, all you gotta do is subscribe and keep on coming, man. Thank you for watching. Peace.